What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 100 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off the best gaming setups. I want to thank you all so much for your continued support. We've made it this far to this crazy milestone, and just thinking back to the first episode over 2 years ago where I did it in my dorm room in college, I had no idea what I was doing at that time, and I'm so happy we've made it here, so thank you all so much. For this episode, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I'm not going to be reading off gear and specs and all that stuff. Pretty much, I'm going to be picking the best of the best from the first 100, talking about my all-time favorites that we've showed off, and just telling you guys, why I like it and stuff like that. So switching it up just a little bit. I'm still going to have all the gear and stuff you see listed in the description down below so you can check it out. But it is going to be a longer format episode, obviously, so just kick back, relax, and enjoy it. And again, thank you guys so much for your support. Definitely couldn't have done this without you. So let's start off episode 100. First up, we have Arink, and there's always just something special about these entertainment living room setups that I've always found enjoyable, and this one pulls it off really nicely. Off to the side of the room, he does have his little battle station here with two monitors side by side with some Dell Ultra Sharps. And then off to the left is his PC, obviously for PC gaming at his desk setup, or he can have it hooked up to that TV. I like the versatility. Before a living room setup, I think it's just organized really nicely. Good use of subtle RGB lighting throughout to give the room some extra pop and glow. And when I think back to some earlier episodes, this one's from Room Tour Project episode 17, this one always sticks out in my mind, so I knew I wanted to include it for you guys. Now this setup from Ryu, he actually used to put out room tour videos back in the day, like early 2013, and I used to watch those, and those initially gave me my inspiration to make my own gaming setup videos and put them out back in, like, I don't know, summer of 2013 maybe. And that was before I even had a channel, really. I had like 10 subscribers. But that's what kind of kickstarted my my love for room tours and stuff. What I really liked about his off the bat was just how crazy it was, and there was so much going on. There was multiple TVs, these huge massive flat screen TVs mounted on the wall, plus his gaming setup with multiple monitors, RGB lights, stuff everywhere. He had some really awesome gear. So when I first saw that video, I was really pumped. It gave me some ideas, and when he submitted, I believe it was 2 years now for episode 35, I was so pumped to get him on the show. So Ryu, I can honestly say that if it wasn't for your initial room tour videos back in 2013, I don't know where my channel would be, because my room tour that summer that I put out was kind of what got me my first initial views and subscribers. So I gotta credit this guy for giving me all that inspiration. His room, office, gaming room, whatever you want to call this thing, is absolutely insane. One of my all-time favorites. Definitely has a special place in my heart. And real quick, that same inspiration I'm talking about, I hope is what you're drawing from this series. That was the whole point from the beginning, to give you guys ideas and inspirations for your own setups. Now this was a total fan favorite from episode 39. Might be kind of hard to see here, but this is actually a room, and those three displays you're seeing are walls, because he has a projection pointed at each of those three walls. So just try to think for a second how crazy immersive this would be. Like, not only are you in the cockpit, but just everything you're playing is surrounded by you. See, whatever game he's playing here must be crazy fun. I can think right off the bat, like, playing Battlefield would be just the most insane experience ever. So when I first saw this, I was like, alright, this is still going to be hands down one of the best setups ever. Even though it's not really like a desk setup, the whole room as a gaming setup is enough for me to include this, because it's unlike anything I've ever seen, whether it's like a closet or just a small room. Regardless, having these three huge projection screens surrounding you while you're gaming is insane. There's no denying that. As for the PC or whatever is powering this, I'm not 100% sure. We didn't have any specs or anything to go by, because it was a video submission that we got. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. I think just the initial wow factor from this was enough for it to be included on the all-time best of the best. This is another one that when I think of some of those early great submissions that define the series, this is always right there on my mind, because it's just so unique, so insane, and so different. Now this was a guest spot we had from Totally Silenced, and he's actually a tech YouTuber as well. This is his setup from, I think it was late 2015, possibly 2016, earlier around then. And at the time when he first sent me this video, I was amazed, because he did an amazing job matching everything. Just extremely clean black and white gaming setup here. There is no better example of dedicating yourself to a certain aesthetic or a certain theme here, because literally
everything is black and white, from his peripherals to, I don't know, everything you can imagine here. Then to add a little bit of color, as you can see with the light strip around his desk and in his PC here, little splash of blue definitely doesn't hurt, and it really helps highlight certain things. But I think more so what I was more impressed with his setup overall was the attention to detail when it comes to cable management. There's really not a single cable anywhere to be found. A beautiful mounting job with those 4 displays at the triple monitors right in front of you with that overhead, and even from his peripherals, you know, his keyboard, his mouse, did a great job drilling a hole in the desk to route those cables down there. But yeah, I mean, look at this. You can't spot a cable anywhere. So I was extremely impressed by that. Just so organized, so clean. Love everything. And of course, a little nod to the Star Wars, you know, throw here with the wallpapers and stuff like that. But just imagine gaming on this. I wouldn't want to, you know, ever bring a food or drinks in this room at all, just because I wouldn't want to make anything dirty or messy. But I love what he did with this setup, and he's actually going to be a guest on one of the next few episodes, giving us his new revamped 2017 setup. So I'm pumped to see what he's done for that and some of the changes he's made. But just altogether, this is legendary. Again, just so nice. No cables anywhere to be found. Really, really awesome stuff. Now this one's a personal fave from Reams because you guys know me. I am all about that natural wooden aesthetic here. So when I see things like that nice wooden desk, you know, some warm lighting in the lamps, a little plant by the side, really liking it. Plus the whole dedication here, even with the wallpaper, you know, going for that natural kind of forest wallpaper, I think even sets this apart even more because it just, I don't know, adds a little extra earthy factor to it that I'm all about. You're probably thinking those are the dumbest reasons I ever heard, but no, it's true. I really dig the natural earthy tones to these. So the first thing that caught my eye about this setup was the kind of unique orientation here for those monitors. Those 2 on the bottom are well below his, you know, his eyesight or his eye level, and they would have to be looking down, but they're aimed up a little bit, so I assume he's using that overhead one as his primary display, having those 2 bottom ones as like secondary displays and stuff like that. But it was just very unique the way they're all angled. And I don't know if you guys spotted it, but way up out of the way here, not even really close to his setup, was his PC. He had it like on top of a storage bin off to the right side of his desk. And at the time of the submission in episode 43, his dual 980s were crazy powerful because there were no 980 Ti's and there were also no, you know, 1070s or 1080s. This was mid 2015, so really great build. It's so clean, a really nice black and white PC. You can see it up there in the corner. I choose to have it more on display because it is so nice, but I'm really digging what Reams gave us here, and hopefully I'll have him on again soon for his newer 2017 setup. We got a little sneak peek of it a few weeks ago as the Boner bonus, if you guys remember, but Reams here, definitely one of my all-time favorites. Now, Geekiverse from episode 45. This definitely has to take the cake for just probably most clean, sterile. I think sterile is the #1 word here because just look at this thing. It is insane. Rocking those triple monitors for his gaming setup, mounted beautifully on this sort of backdrop here so he can hide those cables. We see this a lot now. Definitely gives it a really unique look. And the one thing he has above his setup, as you can see here, is his own custom, you know, Lego wall art he made of these stormtroopers. Very unique. Again, a common theme we've been seeing is these just black and white setups, and that's definitely going to be sticking to it. Much like Totally Silenced, he has his peripheral cables routed down throughout his desk for his keyboard, really unique speakers, Xbox One controller if he needs that for some gaming. Really great desk setup as a whole. His PC was highlighted by that Enthoo Evolve case in all white, and again on the inside, you already know it, a black and white build to highlight his theme. Also very clean. That's what you gotta expect with this guy. So here comes the point in the show where I start repeating words profusely, but this is just an extremely clean setup, guys. There's no denying that. It's insane. It is definitely one of the best I've seen. And I remember fans from the comment section were just freaking out about this setup. Now this was a setup from Peter Brands. I'm sure you remember those crazy neon green, you know, custom built desk PCs. This was his own custom desk PC that he built for himself in his house. And we've had him on a lot, showing off some of his new creations and some of his new projects. But I wanted to include this one particularly because it was his own. Like, it was one that he designed for himself to use in his home to game at. The all-glass desk lets you see inside at all the components and stuff. highlighted nicely by some LED and RGB light strips, some LED fans there, makes it all pop, kind of going like a white and red Asus theme here, with the ROG logo shining down. Lots of Asus products were used in the build as well. But the one thing for me that's hard to really comprehend is just the time and dedication that goes into making something like this. He was one of the first to really make these DIY, desk build setups like this that we see every now and then that we always love. So I love his dedication into that, and something you can make your own, like his very own creation, definitely has a special place, I know, in my heart and on this show. So a big shout out to Peter. Definitely check him out if you haven't already. He's just, like I said, notorious for making those really awesome desk PCs that you've probably seen before and didn't know who made them. That is this guy. Give him some love, give him a shout out, and I'm looking forward to seeing his future builds, his future creations, and definitely worthy of the best of the best. Now, FX Format, we've had him on the show a few times showing off his new setups, because every few months he changes it. But from episode 51, this was probably my favorite rendition of his setup. Obviously, as you can see, a Game of Thrones themed, very, very unique. And one thing that's also really cool is right next to his monitor, right on his desk setup, is his PC. But it's kind of like wall mounted in a way. This is another example of a setup that has the monitor mounted very cleanly on sort of a backdrop there to keep down on the cable clutter. And with those Game of Thrones banners and stuff like that and the wallpaper, I'm sure there's a ton of Game of Thrones fans out there that can appreciate this. And while, Game of Thrones and gaming isn't really, they don't go hand in hand, the fact that you could still add some personality, add some character, and put your hobbies or entertainment into your setup is something I always like to see. And plus, that's a beast of a water-cooled PC here, going with the clear fluid on the inside. Just really nice looking again. Not too sure what case that is, but it definitely looks like it's meant for being wall-mounted here like he has it. Really nice job. Of Varsi here, I picked this one mainly because it is very unique in the sense that we don't see a lot of setups going for a yellowish or a gold theme. That's exactly what he was going for. Again, as I've said numerous times, we have the monitors mounted cleanly on this sort of backdrop here to keep the cable clutter down. Maybe he can't mount directly to his walls, that's what he went with. So those three right in front of him with that overhead display, and the RGB light strip surrounding his desk and behind his monitors is going to that yellowish kind of color. But you just don't see that gold or copper look too often. Even the RGB lights in his peripherals we set to that color so we can all match it to that color theme. And I wasn't entirely sold until I saw his PC, in which he went and found certain custom products, custom painted certain peripherals even, and just finding the hardware to match one color is pretty difficult, let alone this color. Some black tubing for the water cooling, lots of copper going on here, but it still does have that nice golden black kind of look, which is going to be matching his setup. Definitely a one-of-a-kind build. I've never seen anything like this, again, in terms of that color, and I think it was worthy enough just in that itself to be featured on the best of the best. So if you've got a goldish kind of themed setup, let me know. Shoot it to me, I want to see it. This one came from episode 52, I remember, because him and his brother both submitted. They both had awesome setups, but this one kind of took the cake and he beat his brother out. Now we got Sharuk, and this is probably one of my top 3 all-time favorite gaming setups ever. He's got so much right going on here. Like, everything he did was damn near perfect. It's impeccable, so clean and organized. Yet again, no cables anywhere to be seen, so a great job on the cable management, a great mounting job. But I'll show you guys in a second. Off to the right side, you can see his entertainment setup. He's got something pretty cool going on. Before his desk itself, the 3 monitors there look great. Got the PC right off to his right side, a beast of a build at that. And going with things like, getting some white keycaps to throw in on your keyboard to highlight your black and white theme, some Star Wars pop figures there. Everything is matching. And then at nighttime when the lights are off and the RGB lights are turned on, this is where the color comes into effect from that black and white setup, which makes everything glow and pop. Pretty much literally light strip behind his monitor, behind his desk, under his desk, behind his TV. This is where it gets crazy. Now, for his entertainment setup that I pointed to earlier underneath his TV, this is actually a custom Xbox One and PS4 water-cooled unit where he took both the consoles apart, modded them, water-cooled them, and he built this really sick entertainment console entertainment setup thingy on display. and it just looks absolutely sick. A great job water cooling and even getting it so they both function properly. And it's just really cool. Never seen anything like that before on this show. You can kick back on the chairs there, relax, get some console gaming done, you know, kick back, watch some Netflix. One of my favorite all-time setups. Like I said, definitely top 3, possibly even number 2, I would say. And out of the hundreds and hundreds of setups I've seen, that's definitely some praise. This setup from Metatrox, I remember I really wanted to include, and I liked it because when you're talking about aesthetic, you know, sticking to a certain theme or an idea, something like that, his aesthetic was like angular and geometric. Just look at everything here. You got the NZXT case. The Noctis 450 is an angular case. The speakers, the naughty notification device, the prints on his walls, they all have this angular geometric theme going on. Everything very, very white, a little bit of blue thrown in there to add some color. Got a subtle blue RGB light strip behind his desk and glowing inside his PC. But let's take a closer look because his headphones, are they angular and geometric? Check. Off to the right is a subwoofer? Check. His speakers in the naughty, angular? Check. You get the idea by now. In that case, the Noctis 450 is just the best possible case scenario here. Fits in with his setup 110%. So Metatrox, episode 62, props to you, man. I know I told you, I think it was on Twitter, that like I am just amazed at how you matched everything here. So great job. White, black, and blue going on, everything angular. Really, really unique. Now we got the world famous Yazid. This was his 2016 setup where he kind of broke away from the black and red color theme, added some RGB lights and matched everything. Got a little cool little animation, he sent this over here. But Yazid, I think, has to take the cake for having one of the best setups of all time. This one might be my #1 favorite because it is just the ultimate insanely awesome gaming room here, dedicated just for, you know, taking a break, relaxing from life, and just investing yourself into gaming. I mean, at least that's my 2 cents and my takeaway from it. You got the triple monitors going on with the ultra-wide overhead display for 4 total monitors. Of course, the RGB light strip behind the desk is going to be matching to the color of the wallpaper. Props for that, I like it. People often overlook that detail. And of course, all the peripherals are going to be matching to a purple theme as well. Purple controllers, the RGB lights in the keyboard, the speakers, everything is matching to a T. We can kind of get a look, I joked that it's like, you know, hibernating here, it's folding up at night. You can get a look at the great cable management as well because everything is routed to one single area where it just feeds into this brick, pretty much, of an outlet. And you know, cable management is a pain in the ass, and the fact that he took this much time, I mean, look at that. This is 100% dedication. He even put out a little a diagram for us, laid it all out, and how he has it routed, and you cannot see anything when it is, you know, in its glory. So one of the best cable management jobs we've ever seen. And then, of course, you know his PC is pimping, literally going for a purplish look this time with custom painted components, you know, the RAM, custom painted graphics cards, the SLI bridge, the RGB lights, all making this beast of a PC glowing orange to match everything else in his setup. And you could spot it lined up. He has the Xbox One and the PS4 routed to those monitors if he wants to console game as well. But I mentioned it earlier, one of the best all time. This is just my dream setup. When you think of like a beast gaming setup in every way imaginable, this is it. Yazid, man, I give you props for this because it is just legendary. It's hands down the best setup I think I've ever seen. Alex from episode 65, he gave us a unique look as well into his gaming room because not only does he have his triple monitor gaming setup with a crazy wall-mounted PC above it, he has a projection unit off to the left side so he can just turn around and game on that if he wants. But taking a closer look, he has 3 PCs in his room. You can take note, it is all Transformer themed. Kind of unique, very different, but that wall-mounted one is unlike anything ever. It is his Bumblebee, he calls it. It is crazy, obviously all custom made. Lots of time and attention went into building this thing, and it looks awesome. These are kind of things that get you like a fast pass onto the show, you know. Just that dedication, the hard work. And I mean, I'll be honest, like, have you seen anything like this? Like even like a little projection logo going onto the wall there to emphasize the Transformers theme. This is a crazy, crazy PC. So while I could spend probably the next, half hour just talking about his specs with those 3 PCs and all the gear he has going into it, you guys get the idea from by now. Like, this is just a crazy gaming setup highlighted by that wall-mounted PC, but definitely great here. Triple monitors, the projection off to the side, awesome. A bang moves from episode 69 definitely gave me one to remember here with his yellowish orangish Star Wars setup, going as far to even get the Clone Commander Cody bust here for the side of his desk to fit everything, his custom painted PC case, the wallpaper, even his custom painted headphones you can see, which is on the Commander Cody there, kind of acting like it's a headphone stand. But altogether, I really love this. I alluded to it numerous times, so when you match your wallpaper to your theme, it really makes it look nice and makes it pop. Like I said before, some custom painted components and stuff. Got the orange keycaps even to go along with everything. And that's the dedication that I love to see when I look for when I'm deciding, what setups are going to make it on the show. And the second I saw this one, I knew he was going to be included. I don't even know where you'd be able to find this thing to buy it at, but the fact that he uses it as like a headphone stand I think is really cool and really unique. It's a good idea. And just real quick, checking out his PC, again, all custom painted. Really like it, going for like a yellowish blue and color theme on the inside. Really great stuff. Remember, it was definitely a powerful PC. So how can you honestly not love this room? At your gaming desk off to the left side, big entertainment setup there on the other wall. Kick back, relax, watch some movies, play some games on there. Loving the dedication here to the Star Wars, picking the theme, really sticking to it. And I don't know, something about this is very special, and it might not seem too crazy, but I think it is 100% worthy of being one of my all-time favorites, and definitely one of the best, I think. I think really that Commander Cody bus is really what's adding a lot to it, but either way, I love it. Tango here with this Silver Surfer setup, remember I called it, because everything was like a silverish gray, nice light blue going on, and I love how it's right in front of that huge window there, get a lot of natural light. This just feels very refreshing. I think that's like the best way to describe it. It's a nice silvery refreshing setup. So this monitor orientation we've been seeing a lot more of lately. Usually I think it looks like funky or kind of weird, but in this setup it just kind of works. It looks very natural. And if anybody's still even listening at this point, comment Random Funk P. So one thing that I really liked about this as well was the choice of peripherals. Everything here was just very high end and overall high quality products. I love the mouse, the choice of keyboard here. And like we've seen in some other setups, when you make your own custom keyboard, you get custom keycaps, it really makes your setup look a little bit better because you're matching more, a little bit of color thrown in. And even though it's just a subtle keycap change, those granite keycaps, red escape, blue enter, it really looks good. Nice cable as well. And check out these headphones. I mean, Audeze, Sennheiser, Hi-Fi Man, these are top of the line headphones here. An audiophile for sure, and I can definitely appreciate that. And then at nighttime, when the RGB lights come on behind the monitor, that blue really looks nice mixed in with the warm lighting of the lamp there. Those two colors just clash really well, and again, really adds a lot to this setup that in the daytime is just very fresh, natural looking and silverish. So I liked he could switch it up, give some color, or keep it simple. Either way, I really like it. Bokmok here from episode 77. This one was crazy because this setup comes from a complete conversion. This was a converted garage that he turned into an insane looking studio, primarily for music and I believe it was like video production he does both on the side. Obviously some gaming in there as well, but just look at this. How could you not want everything about this? Regardless what it's used for, even if he does just a little bit of gaming, this would be absolutely crazy to hang out and game at. You got the 2 wall-mounted displays with a studio monitor on each side for audio, 2 speakers in like pretty much every corner of this room as well, with that crazy massive overhead. I believe crazy is the word of the day for this setup. RGB lighting again behind each display and the TV. Some really cool LED lighting in the ceiling there. And like I said before, a speaker in every single corner, but just this is awesome. The kind of stuff like this I love seeing, where people can, gut a closet, gut an attic, or even like this example, a garage, and turn it into a beast of a setup. This was a really awesome job. Now this one is just one of my, little favorites. Didn't get, glowing reviews really in the comments section, but I picked this for one reason and one reason only. It is 110% random Frank P aesthetic. Just, the wooden accents going on here in the lamp, the headphone stand, the speakers, the wrist rest. Got a nice plant off to the left side. I am all about this. And it's pretty simple too, going the route of the one monitor there, but that lamp looks sick, it looks really cool. And going along with most of his other gear, I love the choice of, hey, I like wooden things, so I'm gonna pick up some Grove made wooden speakers, a little amp and DAC for, as well as the headphone stand, so it all mends together. And that is the key to my heart, people. This is another person who definitely values their peripherals. We have some crazy headphones going along with the top choice of the keyboard and the mouse, but those Sennheiser HD 800s are quite the pretty penny, so he can value that, and I appreciate it. Alright, I don't have to justify anymore why I like this. You guys get the idea from now. I mean, it's been 100 episodes. You guys know me. We got Emil catching our attention with that crazy wall-mounted PC. Lots of blue glow here. Otherwise, and everything else probably be white and black in the daytime, but very clean again. Triple monitors mounted nicely on the wall, but damn, that PC looks pretty sick. This is a 10 out of 10 mount job here, because honestly getting the monitors all aligned perfectly like that at the angle is rather difficult if you don't know what you're doing, so he executed that beautifully with not a cable in sight hanging down anywhere. Probably routed either inside the wall or some sort of black magic that I need to be in the know about, because I don't see a cable anywhere. And then yes, that beast of a PC looking up with this hero shot. That it looks like a heft of a machine there. That's probably got some weight to it, so the mounting job for this must have been quite something. You don't want that thing falling down on your monitors and breaking everything, but it looks insane. Water cooling here, some blue RGB lights, some LED fans, and for the most part it looks like it was all DIY. I don't know if this is an actual like pre-built case that you can buy, so if you made this by yourself, then that's some extra props to you, man, because this looks beautiful. And then a nice wide shot so we can see the rest of the room. And yeah, this is definitely a gamer's paradise here. Some shelving units to show some things off. This is awesome in every way imaginable. And then Sidness from episode 87. This is a good job of giving like a nice country rustic kind of look. I don't know why, that's just the kind of feel I get. Maybe it's the warmth we get going on here throughout, kind of getting a mix of like steampunk maybe. Just my feels. But then with the RGB lights shining brightly behind the desk, wallpaper spanning across all three of those crazy curved ultra wide monitors, I'm digging it. Of course, that PC is a monster. Another example of a nice water cooling job inside the Corsair case with that RGB fans and stuff, keeping it all red so everything's glowing to that certain color. Yeah, crazy. What else do you want me to say? I'm super jealous of awesome water-cooled builds like this because it just looks so difficult, and I wish I could pull something like this off. So great job on that build. But Sidness, man, I like the theme, kind of Star Wars things going on throughout the setup. We did have some Star Wars figures, and check out those old-timey prints on the wall. Those are really cool, really unique. Haven't really seen something like that before. That all just adds to the overall aesthetic, and I'm a big fan of this. Really good job. And then last but definitely not least, Noizotost here. This one is just one of those RGB crazed ones that really does it nicely. Like, there's a lot of RGB, but it's not over the top, I don't think. Light strip behind the desk, inside the PC, that crazy cool RGB keyboard, and those Nanoleaf Aurora panels on the wall. All makes for a killer looking desk setup. The wooden desk really looks nice here, I think. It kind of is a good, juxtaposition here with that RGB. Got a little plant on top of the PC. You guys know what I'm going to say already. I'm digging the earthy tones to that. So that keyboard is one that I've been wanting to check out for a while. It's the Gons 87, I believe. Again, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below. But his peripheral choices were awesome. Xbox One Elite controller if he wants, the keyboard, the G502, and a nice extended mouse pad. So in terms of, his peripherals and his gear game, It is a 10 out of 10. Nice Hypebeast wallpaper there on his phone, and it all just looks so good together. Everything mends perfectly. And I mean, just by looking at the PC, you can already tell that it is a beast. Whenever we see these Enthoo Evolve cases from Fantex here with the tempered glass, it just makes your PC look 10 times better. It's not, too crazy on the inside. With those RGB light strips around the inside of the case, adds a nice kind of bounce, off the products. It just really makes it look good, and it still fits in with the other RGB products in his setup overall. And a little Gundam figure. So Noisedos from episode 88 is going to round out the best of the best, guys. And I remember this particular episode did really, really well in terms of views. And this is another one that always just sticks out to me because of the way it's all nicely laid out. It's still very organized. And the nice subtle use of RGB lighting makes this stick out from the rest and kind of breaks it away from the pack of other RGB setups. This one does everything right.
Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 100 of Room Tour Project. I hope you enjoyed. Again, check the description down below for all the products you saw. I'll have them listed down there for you. And guys, give this episode a big thumbs up to show your support for episode 100. And again, just thank you all so much. Love you all. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at RandomFrankP. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.